So if you're a lead-based company in your marketing efforts, you don't meaning you don't set up a sale on your website directly, but there's a phone call or an email or conversation that takes place before the customer orders, and that's the primary way that you sell your products. Or every item is custom, so nothing is always going to be the same for everyone. If that's where you fall in your marketing efforts in how your business works, whether you're an HVAC company, a plumber, a painter, whatever the project and work type you do would be, you need to be able to accurately track activities that turn into sales for you and how effectively they turn into sales. Now, in Google Ads itself, which we're going to show you here, there are limitations on the conversion actions you can set up. The kind of conversion actions that you can build inside of the actual ads platform include phone calls and form submissions. However, those phone calls and forms are all treated equally. So for phone calls, if they last more than 30 seconds, that typically would get passed to Google as a conversion. For leads, for forms, if a form is submitted, Google considers that a lead. As you journey on in your marketing efforts in Google Ads, you can eventually get to a point of automated bid strategies, which is the most effective and efficient bidding strategy options that Google offers. That requires 30 conversion actions that you're aiming for in a month. So 30 phone calls or 30 forms. Now, you can do that with the baked in conversion options that the platform provides. But the problem is, as you get those actions going, if the quality of that call or form isn't that great, Google still considers that a conversion. So what you would find with that is that you're telling Google, the algorithm, to go get more conversions. These are the actions I want. I want these forms. I want these phone calls. And it's going to get more of them for you based on your bidding strategies. So as you scale, you're telling it you want more leads. More leads is always good. But if the quality of the leads isn't that great, then you're training the algorithm to go find customers for you at volume that aren't as beneficial or profitable or revenue contributing to your business. So if you are a lead-based business model, before you run your ads, I recommend and highly suggest that you work on setting up a proper lead conversion funnel attribution system in your Google Ads conversion build out. So what I mean by that is rather than just saying, hey, if the call is over 30 seconds, it's good. If there's a form submitted, it's good. What we want is a tool, and there's a variety of them. I'll put them in the description below, but it could be what converts, call tracking metrics, CallRail. There's many of them. But what they allow you to do, and this is an example of one here, is that they allow you to look at the calls and the forms that you've received, and then you can tell this platform, which gets connected to your ads account, which of these particular opportunities were good qualified opportunities. So you can kind of think of it as a ladder. At the bottom is just people visiting your site. In the middle are people visiting your site that you can then turn over into a goal that's important to you, like a form submission or a call. And at the top are the people who are sold, or if you want to flip it, the sold people are the lowest, the best, but there's less of them. Leads are in the middle, visitors are at the top. What you want the algorithm to learn on is who is the best form of lead for you. So if you're getting 30 sales or more a month from your lead generation activities, you can actually create inside many of these platforms a mechanism that only the sold leads are what the algorithm gets to count as a good lead. And then you're actually training the algorithm that these are the customers that buy. So if you look inside, like in this particular platform, it's connected and you can tell it what triggers the lead to be marked in the platform. So if we set it quotable, then that's considered a lead in Google Ads now in our conversions. So that'll count as a conversion. This particular customer, their sales volume a month isn't high enough from their leads from Google Ads to allow us to pass 30 leads sales a month too. So a quote for them is the action we're driving to because the volume is above the proper amount to allow for uh, us to train the algorithm to get us more. However, we don't set every lead as quotable because some of them aren't a good fit for the business that this customer has. And then the value type, we're passing a sales value. So we kind of have the two different reasons we pass the data in this account. Now you could do it, you only pass it if it's marked as sold, and then you pass the sales value. That's training the algorithm to correctly reflect only sold leads as valuable. So when we're telling the algorithm, hey, these are all leads, and then as we pass a sales value, which we don't, this is the client usually is updating this dashboard unless they want us to, but as we pass the sales value, that gets reported back to Google Ads. So we can kind of see a ROAS, how much money are they making for the money they're spending in ads. But at the same time, we can say, hey, these are leads that actually matter to our business and are relevant. So we go in here and you can listen to a call, and then you can say, was I able to quote it? That will trigger the conversion. And then if we set a sales value, it'll set the value of the sale in Google Ads. So you kind of have two different views into how the account's performing. And what you'll see here, and so what you'll see in their platform is they've gotten a total of 42 conversions and 2000, and we haven't updated the sales value yet for the last couple weeks, so this isn't current, but you see the value of those sales. And then you can see the cost. So we're actually not doing, we mark all the conversions that are good conversations. We aren't passing all the conversion value. We aren't updating all the sales value because we track that offline for this client. But you'll see here, this is the number of conversations. Now, if we go back in time, you'll see the number of conversions was a lot higher, but they weren't always relevant. We did not have a lead scoring method. So whether you use, and there's a variety of integrations here. You could use Salesforce, you could use a platform like we are here. There's many that you can use. So in November, we were getting 36 leads at a cost per lead of $79.80. Now, this was strictly recording phone calls and form submissions regardless of quality. So the quality of these leads, we didn't really have any trackability in, and obviously the value was $1 per form. This was before we were able to step into this account and implement a proper lead scoring and tracking solution. So after setting up the tracking solution, you could see lead volume increased pretty heavily. And that's partial. And so there's two things there. We expanded the radius that they're serving. The cost per conversion came down. And then obviously we have a revenue value to the cost that we spent. And we did increase spend and leads went up, but the cost came down. And that is possibly because we better trained the algorithm to say these are the kind of clients that actually respond to us. So by using a tool that lets you properly score the quality of the leads you're building out in your marketing effort, it allows the algorithm to get you more of what actually works for your business. So if you are a lead gen based business, before you run ads to any volume of spend, it's highly recommended that you have an integration that allows you to properly score and show the quality of the leads you're sending that Google is getting are good, that you're sending them, that they get to learn based on who actually turns into customers for you. If you want help setting up this kind of solution, you can reach out to us. My email is in the description. And as always, best of luck in your marketing efforts.